If we're not at a Disney park, we're dreaming about being there, and a cup of Joffrey's Coffee Disney Blend helps. But what about when you're at a Disney park? The Joffrey's Disney Kiosk and Restaurant Locator will make sure you never miss out, whether it's a cool drink on a hot summer vacation or a great cup of coffee at a Disney signature restaurant. Joffrey's has you covered. Check it out at Joffreys.com.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
The body of water that you see to the right of our forward motion is the Seven Seas Lagoon. The Seven Seas Lagoon is a man-made creation that took 3 years and the removal of millions of cubic yards of earth to complete.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Scott. This is ResortLoop.com. And yes, I still do not know the episode number. Everybody, thanks for joining us. Once again, I'd like to thank everybody who's been asking for some quotes over there at ResortLoop.com. We've got a couple people that are thinking about a cruise. Maybe in 2020. That's a great time to cruise. Remember, the earlier you book, the cheaper the rate is. That's Disney's oldest tip for your Disney Cruise Line vacation. Before we get too involved in the show, I want to mention we have a new review over at iTunes, and I should correct myself now, but I like to call it Apple Podcasts. It's Cheryl. She says, a great Disney podcast. She says, I love this podcast. It's fun and upbeat and helps me get my daily Disney fix. Thank you, Cheryl, so much. I appreciate that. We certainly try. We try to stay positive. We'll try to stay positive today, too, although we have a couple things we're going to talk about that are a little less than magical. But to start off the show, I thought we'd talk about some Disney ticket prices. Annual pass tickets have gone up. I don't know if you've heard yet, but I know if you heard earlier this week, Disney said we'll have some early access out there for the annual pass holders, which was fantastic. And then the next day, they promptly raised annual ticket prices. So I got to be honest, I really feel for anybody out there who possibly had a annual pass coming due, and they're went to bed and they're like, we'll just take care of it tomorrow. I'm getting tired. And you wake up the next day, you woke up to some serious price increases on your annual pass. So let's get into that a little bit. We're going to start off with the Disney Premier Passport. Now, this is the passport that's good at both Disneyland and Walt Disney World. So this is your bi-coastal pass. This increased from $1,949 up to $2,099, just under $2,100. That increased at $150. For two parks, that's probably not too bad, but that's, still it's over $2,000 now for the Premier Passport. Both parks. Disney's Platinum Plus annual pass. This gives you access to all 4 theme parks at Walt Disney World, plus the water parks. And I got to keep remembering, and I keep forgetting this also, that this also includes the Disney Photo Pass. So there's added value there for what you're paying. The non-Florida resident price, get the Platinum Plus annual pass, it went from $994 to $1,219. That's an increase of $225. And by the way, these prices don't include tax, so you don't forget to build that in there. The Florida resident and DVC member for this ticket, it went from $849 to $999. That went up $150. So the Disney Platinum Annual Pass, all 4 theme parks, went from $894 to $1,119. And then the Florida residents and DVC members, $749 to $899. So your non-Florida resident went up $225, and the Florida resident or DVC members went up $150. And then the Gold Annual Pass, this is for Florida and DVC members only, went up $90 from $609 to $699. So, and that one has restricted dates, so you have to check on that one if you're thinking of making some plans for using those. There's also some other annual pass ones that went up for Florida residents only. The one pass that went up if you're hit there down there. I don't think this is just for Florida residents. The Disney Water Parks annual pass. This went up from $130 to $139. So, and if you go down there a couple times a year and you don't want to spend maybe too much on park tickets, you just want to maybe hit some Disney Springs and some water parks, that might be a good option for you. So the thing about the annual pass, they always have said, 10 days, that's your cutoff. If you 10 days or more, it's worth it to get the annual pass. And remember, this is only as I'm recording this June, and I have a feeling ticket prices are going to go up here, right around the time Galaxy's Edge opens up. So I have a feeling this is going to stand true about the 10-day mark. But the one thing about an annual pass, because it's been a few years since I've had the annual pass, one of the benefits is kind of freedom. Because all of a sudden, maybe you have a long weekend coming up. Maybe, you got an email saying we have a special deal on flights going down. And you can get down there on the cheap, and you've already have an annual pass. You've got a vacation trip that you didn't really plan on. So, while the Disney park costs a lot of money, you got to figure in, what only does what it cost, but what's it worth. So, I realize that's different for every family. You got to kind of run the numbers, and I got to tell you, speaking of families, I do know these price increases hurt. If you have 2, 3, 4 kids, and you start getting up there, and you're used to an annual pass, now you have to start reassessing some things. So, I hope everyone can still manage to get down there when they want, still have the Disney magic, but no one likes reporting on price increases. And there you go. Let me know over on Facebook or send me an email. Are these price increases going to make you maybe change your Disney vacations? Are you going to think about, I can't really, we're not going to be able to swing the annual passes. Or maybe, we're going to take a year off, save up. Maybe we'll miss some crowds for Galaxy's Edge, and then we'll reassess and maybe buy an annual pass then. Let me know what you're thinking. All right, moving on. I got an email from Chris. And he kind of sent us a little interesting topic here I thought we could talk about. He goes, well, this is addressing the Country Bear Jamboree rumored replacement. I got to be honest, Chris, I didn't know there was a rumor until, I got your email and I started to look it up. Apparently, there's talk of replacing the Country Bear Jamboree with a Woody's Roundup or a Woody from Toy Story type of show. But he says, when addressing this replacement, it can be expanded to other attractions, such as the Tiki Room. And I'm going to throw in, It's a Small World and Carousel of Progress into his email here. Hope he doesn't mind. He goes, I think Disney should be very hesitant with replacing the classic or original attractions, especially the ones where Walt himself was involved or had knowledge of. Because having said that, what if Disney, instead of a replace and retire policy, did a replace and relocate? If they were set on replacing, the Jamboree, why not move it to a resort that is suitable to its theme? Why not move it to the Wilderness Lodge and incorporate it as part of the Whispering Canyon? Because I'd rather have an attraction relocated than retired and never seen again. What if they were going to do away with the Tiki Room? Why not just relocate it to the Polynesian? Because my thinking is it will preserve the classic attraction while at the same time give the resort guests an extra bonus. He goes, I imagine most guests on property are more Disney fan than not and would appreciate this. And also, might draw other diehards to resort hop, not just for the attraction, but, they probably spend money along the way. He goes, having said this, do I have an opinion? And why, yes, I do, Chris. I do like your idea of moving it to a resort. I'm not sure if that would be the optimal idea or not, but trust me, if it's between losing it or moving it, I would say move it. I just think it might be a little too busy for the resort unless they maybe incorporate it into a dining experience. Because I believe the Tiki Room was actually, when Walt kind of came up with that idea, they thought it was going to be a restaurant. And the birds just kind of be a sideshow. So that might not be a bad idea. I like that a lot. The Country Bear Jamboree, maybe you could do the same thing. Make it a dining experience. Put it over at the Wilderness Lodge. If it doesn't fit over there, why not build another building? Maybe you have to expand the park outside of the train tracks a little bit. Maybe you have to move the Country Bears out to make room for the Woody's Toy Story, make another building, and make that a dining experience. Kind of like the setup over at the Diamond Horseshoe Review. Maybe put them on stage. Have 45 minutes, to eat your lunch, dinner, whatever it is. You have the show at the end. Maybe some slight, music while you're playing from a live setup. Here's another thought. Why not take these classic Disney attractions and use updated technology? Use your, top of the line animatronics for the Country Bears, for the Carousel of Progress, or even in the most modern scene. Let's lose the 80s. Let's maybe leap forward to the 2000s, maybe even the 2020s. Who knows? And maybe the most recent scene, you could use the most updated animatronics, or maybe have them walk around a little bit. I mean, use more updated things. Use more technology. You're holding, the original idea from Walt and just using modern technology. I think he would be down with that. I will say sometimes, these companies, for instance, Walt didn't really want alcohol in his theme parks. But then he also said, the parks will always constantly be moving. So people will cherry pick the different things that he says to implement whatever they want to implement. So if these things are going to go, they're going to go. I would like the idea of maybe building on your idea, Chris, and maybe, take some of these attractions. If they're going to go, implement them on the cruise ship. Maybe make the same kind of thing, have the Country Bear dining experience on one of the cruise ships. Have the Tiki Room dining experience on one of the cruise ships. I think that would be a great idea. I will also say, if these attractions are going to go, and, we can tie ourselves to like the turnstiles or the gates or the magic band readers of these things and say, I'm going to stop this. This cannot happen. It's going to happen anyway. So what Disney needs to do, and I'm calling them out on this one, if you're going to do anything like this in the future, you need to put together a DVD. And make sure you use the best quality. I want 4K. I want 8K. I want, the whole show. I want close-ups of the different characters during the whole show. I want a whole bunch of options. I want the history of the show. I want you to talk to the Imagineers that you can. I want to see the original artwork. I want to see the original people talk about these attractions and how they were put together. And I don't just want this on Disney Plus. I want to make sure I have my own copy of this. Make it a DVD, a Blu-ray, an SD card, however you're going to get this. If you're going to take something away that we feel is so tied to Walt, you better give us an option to save it ourselves so we can enjoy this and share it with our kids. Because my thinking on this also is when Walt Disney built some of these attractions and his parks, I don't think he might have known how deep in American culture and almost history some of his attractions have become. I mean, It's a Small World, it's a classic. Everybody knows the song. Country Bears, I've always loved watching. It goes way back. I mean, like Chris said, Walt had his hand in this. There's something to be said for that. Hopefully everybody understands that at Disney. I also think that there's something to be said for shared experiences. If you've gone on some of these attractions as a child, as It's a Small World, maybe with your parents or grandparents, and then you have your own kids and you're able to take them on it again, watch their eyes and see it through their eyes again. There's something to be said for that. I hate to see that kind of thing go. I mean, don't take out an attraction just because you have new IP. Because this is some original IP, intellectual property from the mind of Walt. I'm just throwing that out there. That's my thoughts on it. If we need to get rid of it, make sure it's preserved somehow. At a resort, on a cruise ship, on a DVD, and give me the option to purchase it. I don't want to just have to be able to maybe see some of these things in the archives if I happen to be on an Adventures by Disney. Chris said, I listen to other Walt Disney World podcasts, and I'll pose the same suggestion and question to them to hear their opinions. He said he also wrote Iker and Chapek with the same suggestion. He goes, if the rumor is true, I'd rather see these attractions preserved rather than retired. Again, I agree with Chris totally. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Would you keep the attraction? Would you update the attraction? Would you move the attraction? Do you like the idea of maybe putting together a professional-looking, in-depth DVD with the full show and all the extras, and to preserve this so you can have it for yourself? Anyway, I feel like I'm rambling. I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to go get some Joffrey's coffee. Once again, Looper Nation Live over at Facebook. You can find me at Tim Scott, Resort Loop Tim, Facebook, Twitter, actually over at Instagram. I believe I'm just Resort Loop. Everyone, please go out there and share the gateway to the magic. We will see you, everybody. Vacation memories will stay with you and your family for a lifetime. The Resort Loop Travel Group was created with this in mind. Our fee-free services will relieve you of the stress and confusion of finding and booking the best vacation at the best price. After booking, we will continue to monitor for ways to save you even more on your vacation. We will check for any upcoming packages and discounts to save you as many vacation dollars as possible. Resort Loop Travel Group, gateway to your magical vacation memories. Get a quote, or for more information, visit ResortLoopTravelGroup.com.